Hello, good evening, and welcome to your award-winning show, Time with the Captains. It's your monthly business mentorship program that affords university students an opportunity to engage and interact with business leaders, chief executive, entrepreneurs, and CEOs. Well, tonight we've got a special guest in our midst tonight. She's our guest for the month of August. Also in studio, we've got students from tertiary institutions across the country. We've got students from Ashesi University, from the University of Professional Studies, and also from Zenith University College. They constitute our audience for the night. For those of you at home also, you can join us via Facebook. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on TV3. You can contribute to the show by going onto our WhatsApp page. Our WhatsApp number is 050-823-5228, 050-823-5228. We'll take a short break. When we return, I'll introduce our guest for the month of August. All right, so you're welcome back to your monthly business mentorship program, Time with the Captains, live here on TV3. So who's our guest for the month of August? So it's a woman, and that's a very second woman for Time with the Captains. She's the second woman to appear on the program. She comes with enormous experience in retail banking and marketing. She holds a BSc in Actual Science from the University of Lagos, Nigeria, and also has an honours from the University of London, a diploma in marketing from GIMPA, and an EMBA from the University of Ghana, and also has numerous leadership qualifications from the Harvard Business School, Columbia, University of New York, amongst other institutions. She's worked with Standard Chartered Bank as head of sales, with CalBank as relationship manager, and with Strategic African Securities as an authorized dealing broker, as well as the then Benty Enchil and Lecha, which is now Benty Enchil, Lecha and Ankoma Law Firm, as an investment officer. She is the managing director, if you like, chief executive officer of the United Bank of Africa. In 2015, she was adjudged in the non-ranked top 50 female women in Ghana by Woman Rising. She was also recently at the annual Group UBA CEO Awards night. She was chosen in the Special Enterprising Award category of Business Leader Extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome our captain for the month of August, the Chief Executive Officer of United Bank for Africa, Abiola Marufatu Bewa. Please welcome her. All right, Madam, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
And how does it feel?
I feel great. I feel very honored. Thank you for honoring me, and thanks for coming. I really feel humbled.
So, as I read through your profile, quite a rich profile you have. You've been to everywhere. Schooled in Nigeria, schooled in Ghana, schooled in the US, in the UK as well. You were named Managing Director and Chief Executive of the bank in which year? 2013?
2014.
2014.
Yes, please.
So 4 years as the Chief Executive of United Bank for Africa.
Rightly so.
Okay, so the first woman to be CEO of a Pan-African bank. What has been your biggest achievement since taking over as Chief Executive?
Thank you. When I took over as Chief Executive, I was then the 5th Chief Executive of UBA Ghana. All my predecessors were men. So I told myself, I need to surpass expectations. So that is exactly what I did. Just focus on the job, and I made sure I achieved results.
Tangible results, what are they?
Well, when I took over, UBA was number 17 at the time I took over. In terms of deposit, they were number 21. And I think His grace is what's abound on us. And today, as of last year, we currently are number 5 across board. We were number 5 in assets, we're number 5 in profitability, and we're number 5 in deposit.
United Bank for Africa, so you've got branches across other African regions?
Yes. We call them subsidiaries. We are in 19 other countries other than Nigeria. Outside Africa, we are also in New York, we are in London, and we are in Paris. And then in Africa, we cut across from Guinea down to Senegal to Liberia, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, up to upper part of Africa, which is Chad. We are in Chad, we are in Burkina, we come down to Cameroon, also central part of Africa. So you find us in Gabon. We are also in Mozambique, we are in Tanzania, we are in DRC, we are in Kinshasa, and Uganda. I think I've mentioned that. So these are our areas of coverage.
How many workers do you superintend over in Ghana?
I have over 550 workers.
Over 550 workers with how many branches in Ghana?
We have 28 branches now. Yes.
I see.
And we have branches across all the regions, other than the last two up.
Right. Okay, so you've just heard from the Chief Executive Officer of United Bank for Africa, Madam Abiola Marufatu Bewa. So I'm going to be introducing our students. They constitute our guest, our audience for the night. These are students from Ashesi University. First time on the program, we've also got students from Zenith University College, as well as University for Professional Studies. So students, if you've got any questions to ask, kindly raise your hands. Do we have startups here? Do we have students who are into business, entrepreneurs here? Okay, so you've got any questions for her, please raise up your hands and I'll just acknowledge you. You mention your name, you tell us which school you are in, and then you ask your question. For those of you at home also, I told you that we're live on Facebook, streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on TV3. Our WhatsApp line is 050-823-5228, 050-823-5228. So before the first question comes in, how are you able to manage over 500 workers? Do you have any sterling qualities as a leader?
Yes. As a leader, one thing that is pretty obvious is that people do what they see and know what to do. So you manage people. If you want to get results, you manage people from front. In other words, you must always be conscious of the fact that your staff look up to you in terms of what you do, not necessarily what you do. So you must, not necessarily what you say. So what I try to do is to lead by example. It's leadership by example. Whilst you also give them all the credit when results are coming in. So that is what makes you a great leader. So when you talk about coming early to work, I'm always at work by 7:30. Talk about winning business, I'm always right in front of the marketing teams. If you talk about anything I want them to, I always make sure I exemplify that.
So these are students, I told you, from various tertiary institutions, from Ashesi, from Zenith University College, as well as from University of Professional Studies. Lots of them are business students. They want to become entrepreneurs in the future. A few of them have got businesses running for themselves, startup business. I'm sure they've got questions to ask you about probably the interest rates regime in Ghana. I mean, you are a bank. I'm sure lots of them will need capital to start a business. Interest rates are exceedingly high in this part of our world. Let's start with our very first question. Who has a microphone?
Thank you. My name is Charles Jokoto from Ashesi University. I do business administration and I'm an entrepreneur too. The business I do is into carpentry and interior designing. My question is about the role banks play in registering of business. Because the main problem that we students face, or most young entrepreneurs face, is about registration of businesses. Because the criteria we have in Ghana is very clumsy. So I would like to know, how does banks like UBA help students to register their businesses?
Okay, you want to take that?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's great to hear young ones taking up this kind of role. But when you say bank, how do they register? Bank don't register businesses. Okay. I want to believe you are talking in terms of helping. Okay. Now, I always say that for entrepreneurs, capital is not the first resource that you need. I believe what we are doing here today is actually the first thing that you need. In approaching a bank, don't approach a bank with the idea of the bank taking over your business. Banks are financiers. We take money from surplus and we deploy it to deficient areas. The owners of those funds will expect their money back. So I always say that what you need is to have a clear mindset about what you want to do, is to invest enough time on information. is to invest enough time on the business. Come out with a business plan that I can understand. And also prove to me that you believe in your plan. How do I know you believe in your plan? I believe that instead of using a car and looking for capital from a bank, you can dispose of that car. And tell me, look, Madam Mabiola, my business lacks 100 million. I have just sold my car. I have also disposed of my house. I say, wow, you mean just to start this business? And you tell me, yes. It shows you believe in the business.
You know, people would sell off their houses before they come to you?
No, I'm just giving you an example that you shouldn't approach the bank believing that I'll just take over your business and run it for you. I want to see your equity. Do you get it? And I'm saying that one of the ways you can sell your business is to first put in your very best. When I see that your very best is already in there, it sort of makes me believe you have an interest in that business. So banks will always value your interest in the business. Once they say no, it means they still can't get it. So what you should see, we should always aim at, is to make sure the bank understands what you have invested into that business.
All right.
Once I can quantify that, it's easy for me to jump onto that wagon.
All right, I'm going to take the next question. Who's on the microphone? Yes, sure.
Okay. My name is Bosompion from Zenith University College. My question is this: the government in Ghana, the government borrows a lot from the bank, so it seems the interest rate is very high for the people who start in local businesses. So you go to a bank to borrow money, and you have to save at the bank maybe 3,000 for some months, and the bank is giving you 10,000, and you have to leave 5,000 there. After you finish paying the 10,000 plus the interest before you get all this money. So you are not paying 28% interest, you are paying more than 150% interest. That means you are just saving there and taking it back and pay interest on it. This is how you do in Ghana. If you go to the rural areas, this is how it happens to them. So with the government always talking about the interest rate is very high. It's not about the interest rate, it's about how the government is manipulating the banking system in Ghana here. Because it seems the government have taken over the administrative bodies of the government system. So the government people are not talking the real fact to the people in Ghana here. So but anyway, it all falls down back to the rural people. And they are failing, they can't do businesses. And it seems that people who do big businesses, the wholesale people, are the only people who can borrow from the bank, because they borrow big money, they are able to pay in quick time.
Okay, Bosompem, so you've got serious issues with the interest rate regime. You think that government is over borrowing or borrowing on the market and, you know, crowding out the private sector. I think his is more of a contribution.
Yeah, I think that because government is not here to to explain themselves to you, let me just, on a more serious note, I think in every country, government do borrow. And government's policy is directed at bringing interest. It's not in their interest to borrow at high cost, okay? I know our situation in Ghana is a bit peculiar, but I think the current government has done well. T-bill is now 11 point something.
Almost 12%.
Okay? Now, when you were talking about interest rate. Well, I think interest rate, if you agree with me, depends on the bank. And even credit policy, every bank has its own policy. In UBA, there's nothing like come and run your account for so many years. Of course, I want to know you. I want to know you. But there are also customers who get credit immediately they open. Because once I understand your business, it's easy for me to make a case. The reason why banks always say that is because they are not sure. I don't want you to deceive me that you are doing business and then you give us money and we give you money and the next time you are out. We don't want that. So they will ask you that, look, we want you to become a customer. But it is not a ground rule. It depends on the bank. Secondly, the interest, the idea of come and keep 5,000 and then I'll give you 10 is also, that's what people call partially secure. It's actually a product. So if you don't want that product, you tell the bank, no, I'm not interested, because that's actually expensive for you, isn't it? So you tell them you don't want that. But it is not because government is pushing you out. No. Government itself, if they are going to borrow today, they'll borrow at my base, because the base is determined by a formula given to us by Bank of Ghana. You get it? So it's not entirely true that is because government is taking. That is why the cost is high. No, that's not it. T-bill more or less determine how cost of funds is applied. So today...
But you obviously wouldn't borrow to me below the T-bill rate, would you?
No. That is based on Bank of Ghana's rule. I cannot even lend to government below my T-bill. It's a policy Bank of Ghana brought out that no bank should lend below its base rate. So once I calculate my cost of funds, there are so many other factors we can't talk about here that leads to increase in our cost of funds. Today, hardly do I get any company giving me funds at what we call demand deposit, which is zero. Everybody is asking for T-bill plus. So if you do that, my cost of funds goes up, and it's a formula that I apply. I don't just apply it off head. So when that formula comes out, even government, if they come to me today and say they want to borrow, I will lend to them at that cost.
I'm sure you also consider your risk and exposure.
Yes, and our risk, right. That is what we even put on top. I'm trying to go to the barest minimum.
Okay.
Which
all right,
is
so
I'd
like us to go back a bit. I mean, these are university students, and most of them hoping to, grow up, and build their businesses to become, obviously, top businesses in the future. Now, as they're in school, what do they need to do to become relevant after school?
Wow.
Because a lot of the times...
There are 6 things I always share with young ones like you. I think I was blessed in the early course of my undergraduate years that somebody invested that in me. So I will share it with you. I think the first principle is your emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence?
Yes. You must invest into your emotional intelligence. Things will not always go your ways. I'm sure it's not everybody here who is in first class, is it? Are we all in first class? No. But we all learned hard, isn't it? There are certain courses that you wanted to take. There are certain careers you wish you could take. Maybe you wanted to do medicine and it didn't come your way, so you are doing pharmacy. Maybe you wanted to do accounting, but one way or the other, they took you for HR. So how do you manage that? How do you allow that to push you forward? Sitting here, I can't guarantee you that everything went smoothly. I cannot say that. But one thing I know is that anytime I fall, I learn from it, I wake up, I persist, and I run. So no matter what you are going through now, maybe school fees, whatever it is, I don't want to know, you can still be yourself. So you need to get that right. Your emotional intelligence is very critical. Because when we don't get that right at this age, it destroys us. Okay? So that is the first one. The second principle I wish to share with you is on your physical abilities. You must keep yourself very, very, very strong. You must be able to avoid certain things. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Things that we do in secondary school or in the universities. The boys know it, the girls know it. You must be able to keep yourself away from them. We all did some. But we avoided it early because I got somebody to share these principles with me. So you must keep yourself very healthy. All right? There are so many peer pressures things that we do that are not healthy. And once it gets hold of us, I think I met a colleague of mine recently. We were in the university together, and I almost wept because of certain life she led. Very brilliant lady. So I wish that we'll keep ourselves away from those things. The third one is on your finances. On your finances, you need to live within the rule. If mommy can afford this, if mommy can afford a car, so be it. But don't do things outside the rule. Live within your zone. You don't need to go to London every holiday. You don't need it. If you can afford it, yes, congrats. If you can't, you can be as equally happy doing your long vac in Ghana. You can go to Kumasi. You can go to Ho. There's nothing wrong with that. So live within the finances. And then the Fourth one is on your relationship. Is anybody married? Okay. You need to have solid relationship with your siblings, with your parents, with your friends, with your roommates, because the few people who first supported me in life were friends. They were great relationship I built during secondary primary school. So you need to have solid ground. You need to have solid relationship. You can't be a lone ranger. You can't be a lone star. You need to build solid relationship. It's so critical, it's not funny. All right? And then the final one is your time. You've all heard that proverb that says time is money. Is that true? Yes, it's very true. What you are doing tonight is investment. You are investing time. You could have gone to watch a movie. I'm sure if I go to, what's the name? ShopRite? What's the name of it? Silverbed.
Silverbed.
I'm sure your colleagues are there watching movies. Isn't it? Whilst it is good to watch movie, you have decided to come and listen and learn something. So you must use your time wisely. Whatever you are supposed to do today that you didn't do is gone. Even if you do it tomorrow, you've missed today. So always look out for opportunity like this. Always build on yourself. If you can spend 80% of your time thinking about yourself, and every day when I get home, I ask myself, what did I do today? Did I achieve? No. Because time is so critical. And you know, God being so good, every human being on earth is given 24 hours. There is no country that has 36. Everybody is 24 hours. So don't waste yours. So for these 5 principles, if you can hold them strongly, tightly, I have no doubt whether you choose to go into business or you choose to come into the career world, you will succeed.
Any questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll take females. So let the microphone. Okay, okay.
So
No, your name and which school?
my name is Angela from Ashesi University. Okay, so I'm a bit curious. Being the CEO of such a bank with so many branches across Africa and outside Africa, I want to know, what exactly do you do? Like, what goes into your day?
Interesting question.
Very, very. I am the CEO for UBA Ghana, not for the group. I'm not in charge of the 19 countries. I'm only in charge of Ghana. But under Ghana, I have 28 branches. Now, what I do when I come to work, I love to plan. I love to plan. So what I'll do tomorrow, I can tell you today. It's already written down.
What would you do tomorrow?
What I do tomorrow? Tomorrow, I need to go and make sure I visit my top customers. I have 4 customers lined up. I need to meet my executives. I need to make sure that, because I may travel on Wednesday, so I need to make sure that I clean my book. I make sure I sign everything. I have few credits I need to look at before I go. So I have stated them down. So when I come to work in the morning, what I try to do is to make sure those days that I have fewer branches, I could actually call. Today I have sent a mail to no less than 6 branch managers. I need to be in touch with my executives. I need to make sure that all is well. So I do that in the morning. I also have customers who visit me, some with appointment, some without appointment. I meet them. There are times when I don't go out at all. All I do is just to meet customers. And there are times when I visit, I do meet customers. So I do all that. But the most important thing is to make sure that emotionally I have everybody around me. I cannot reach out to every staff, but if I can reach out to every branch head, I'm able to, one way or the other, test the pulse, whether everything's all right. So if I've not seen you in about a month, I can send you a text. I've not seen you today. What happened? I didn't meet you last week, Friday. Is any problem? You will know. If you are a leader, you will know that all is not well with this branch or all is not well with that branch. So I have a fair idea of how every branch is doing.
We've got 2 minutes to take our very first break. I'll take my next question. I saw your hand up. Kindly pass the microphone over to that lady.
My name is Demira Ochadako.
I'm from University of Professional Studies. I have 3 questions, but I'll try and put it in one. The first one is, what are some common mistakes made by upcoming entrepreneurs, and how do you advertise your services? The last one is, can we have practical examples of how you got up from falling, making mistakes and all of that? Because it's easier said than done. When you fall, get up. But then we want examples.
All right, thank you.
Good. I will try to answer all the 3 together. If I get you quite well, you wanted to know how some common mistakes made by entrepreneurs. As far as on top of my head, the very first one and the most important one is the lack of focus. Lack of focus. I have met quite a number of entrepreneurs. I get very passionate about their business, and then you give them the money, and the next time they are in another project. The guy comes and says, look, Abi, I can make this number of shito, or I can produce this. Wonderful. So if I support you with just this, you can actually do that? Say yes. Very determined, very passionate, and then the facility is granted. The first thing he buys is a Benz. I've arrived. If it's a male, that's the time to go into chieftaincy, man. And the next time, a young lady, one gentleman I financed like that, one day brought a Benz and said, Abiola, come and look at this Benz. Does your boss ride this kind of Benz? I said, no, he doesn't. It was not necessary. The business is collapsed now. Which is why young entrepreneurs find it difficult getting business. If I give you 1 cedi and you use it judiciously, and I see the growth in the business, I want to be able to boast about your business. I want to be able to boast about your business. So I'll give you 2. I know a company I started with, was it 30,000 cedis those days? Today, every bank is chasing them. They are in millions. And I'm so proud of them. I am so proud of them. 30,000 cedis. 30,000 cedis. In fact, when it got to 100, my boss then didn't want to support again. So I had to use my personal, I had to give another take with my bonus. I know, I think I will.
Big bonus?
Yes. With my bonus, I said, look,
big.
No, it wasn't big because it hasn't been paid. But I just knew that there's no way I was going to get less than what the lady was asking for. So I said, you know what? If this lady doesn't pay, you can take my bonus. I'm
going to cut you here. Hold your guns. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll answer most of the questions that have come in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Time with Your Captains, live here on TV3. Our guest for the month of August is Madame Abiola. She's the Managing Director, the Chief Executive Officer of United Bank for Africa. If you're excited, please show her some love. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hello and welcome to your award-winning program, Time with the Captains, your monthly business mentorship program, live on TV3. We're also streaming live on Facebook tonight. Our guest for the month of August is the Chief Executive Officer of United Bank for Africa, Madam Abiola Baiwa. We've also got students from the University of Professional Studies. We've got students from Ashesi University as well as the Zenith University College. They constitute our audience for the night. And also at home, those of you watching us, feel free to send us your views, comments, and questions as well. Go to send a question to 050-823-5228. 050-823-5228. Already, I've got loads of your messages, loads of them coming in. Questions for Madam Abiola Baiwa. I'll be asking you shortly some of the questions coming in on our WhatsApp page. But let's quickly wrap up with Oshodako's question, right? She asked about the mistakes that entrepreneurs make a lot, and then about the practical examples, about your practical examples when you talk about being able to rise even when you fall.
I think the easiest way to do that is to have a role model. You must have, you can't achieve what you can't see. So as a student, can you see, what do you see about your future? How do you get there? So sometimes it's good to have coaches along the line, people who can help you, because that path is very winding and it's not straight. You fall in, you tumble, you fall in, you tumble. So in order to make sure you don't stay on the ground, you have people who can tap you at the back. So I will always say that you should have a role model. It helps you. So what we are doing today is coaching. There are people here who may have felt, I may not be able to achieve, or my background. If it's about background, I won't be here. I don't even deserve to sit before you. So I will always say that you need a coach. You need to come for seminars like this. You need to read. I encourage my children to read. I say, read about people. It helps you. It helps you to know, oh, okay, so this is how it is. So I think I did a lot of reading too. So those are that's the easier way I know you can easily pick yourself up and run.
And I heard a very popular saying that in 5 years' time, you'll be who you are, but for two things: the books you read and the people you meet. Just to add to Ochodaku's question, so what has been your biggest fall in life on your road to the top, your biggest fall, and how did you overcome that?
It's about how people treat women. I think that anytime people talk about it, I say I went through it. But how people define you can either make you or made you. So I was determined. I went through it, where as much as I work hard, a particular boss thinks nothing good can come out of you. You get it? And I knew he was rating me based on my sex. In other words, I'm a female. And everything that is low was for me. You get it now? If there is a department that is not doing well, you can be sure that will be mine. If there is anything that is not working well, you can be sure. But I kept the smiles. And I made sure I proved him wrong. And I made sure I work harder. Which is why when I took over UBA, I told myself I must beat the bills to it. Because I knew that was the first time a woman was coming up. And I knew everybody's going to be like, oh, we said it. Okay? But I can assure you, 3 years after, my bosses came and said, you know, we said this. You know, we said that. Oh, you've proved us wrong. Oh, so I think my biggest fall, as far as what really got me, was the way people treated me at work. That was my biggest fall.
See, you talked about, you know, certain faults in life when you started, about even the programs that people read in school, the fact that some people do not get the courses that they want to do, and, you know, people, I wanted to do business administration, I didn't get it, and they're weeping and they're crying, and you did actuarial science. Does the program you offer for your first degree, does it really matter what you become? Does it define who you become in future?
No. I didn't intend to study actuarial science. I am a mathematician. I read maths. I did maths, physics, maths, economics, and French in Achimota School. And I wanted to do accounting. I'd heard about accounting. I wanted to read accounting. And a cousin of mine who heard I did A-level maths said, wow, there's a course. That time nobody knew. Remember, I was in Ghana. Nobody knew about actuarial science. I had never heard about that course before. So when I got, he had chosen it. I wept. I said, no. I want to be an accountant. So I went to the university because he had filled the form. So I went to the university, and the man saw me and said, oh, my lady, you had a B in mathematics. So why won't you read actuarial science? This is a course everybody is struggling to enter. Okay, you know what? Let's go into an agreement. If after 3 months you don't like it, we'll change it for you. That's the end of the story. I never remember to really go back. I read actuarial science. And when you talk about actuarial science, you are talking about statistics. You are talking about insurance. So when I came into Ghana, I wanted to join insurance companies. Nothing on banking. I never applied to any bank. I was running from SNAP to insurance to this, to that, but never materialized. So even if you are in my bank, you see people in zoology. You see people with in civil engineering. I just recruited a civil engineer.
Music.
You see, pardon?
Music.
English, grammar, anything. Ladies and gentlemen, what we need from you is a degree. And apart from your books, remember I said, remember how your first principle is emotion. Learn that principle. So what you are picking in your environment is very important. That is why when you are looking for a job, we don't just say, okay, what did you get? First class. Oh yeah, move. No, you still go through interviews. And there are people who do third class. And there are people who come in zoology. One of my best arrows, relation officer, when I was in my former bank, was somebody who did building tech or something funny. He was the best. He never did marketing. And I've never done marketing. So it is that emotional thing I spoke to you about, plus your degree, plus your time management. You see how those 5 things I told you, if you manage it, when I interview you, I will see it. I will be able to pinpoint that, oh yeah, this person is a principal person. Not when you come running all over. We are not going to employ you because you have the latest Brazilian air. No. It's of no use to me.
Next question, please. Okay, who's got the microphone? Yeah, quickly. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'm Thomas Kojo Kwanzaa from the University of Professional Studies. I have 3 quick questions. The first one is, if you're beginning a small business that doesn't require much capital, do you from the outset register the business, or you begin and ensure that it is considerably established before you register? And the second question is, what are some of the challenges that one is likely to face when he or she endeavors to start a business? And the last one is, what are the notable challenges that you face, particularly because you are a woman, and how did you overcome them? Just to encourage some of the women in our midst. Thank you.
Okay, I think I can walk all the questions together. First and foremost, you want to know about whether you should register your business. I think you should register your business day one, because the age of the business determines the people who will be willing to come to support you in future. So if you are starting a business, I believe you should register it. Secondly, you want to know what's the name? The various obstacles in the way of an SME. The first and foremost is for people to even believe in your vision. Remember, you have seen it. I haven't seen it. So sometimes in an effort to sell that company to me, it may be a bit irritating to you because you expect me to run the same way, at the same pace as you. But sometimes it's difficult for you to get banks and other stakeholders to believe in your business. So that is what I know is the frustration. You believe in it. You want to run. You believe that if you get money, look, you guys are very, very optimistic. But as a banker, I'm a risk-averse person. So all that you say, you can be sure that it's just a little. It's your cash flow I'm interested in. So those are the obstacles I do know that you guys face. Finally, you want to know as a woman, nobody is going to sell you if you don't sell yourself. Nobody is going to sell you. So you need to believe in yourself. So make sure whatever obstacle or whatever challenges you are going through, nobody touches that, the confidence that you have.
The confidence you have. Okay, let's go on social media now to Facebook, no, to WhatsApp now. Lots of you have been sending your messages. Let's engage you briefly. This one says, hi, please, my name is Mamiesi. I am about to start a business. I have no idea about it. Can I please get guidelines from you gradually in order to grow this business, please? I'm following your program and I love it. I really love it. Thank you, Mamiesi. This one also says, giving to you and your cherished listeners. You just talked about commitment of interest by selling off your assets to show commitment. My question is, how will a young entrepreneur show his interest to you since he or she has limited resources? A graduate today has virtually nothing to prove to you that he believes in his idea. So how will such a person prove his commitment to you? That's from Suleimana in Tamale. This one also says, thank you, TV3, for bringing such a wonderful woman to your studio for great thoughts. I enjoy the show very much. That's Alaji from Kumasi, Abuakwa. My question is, I'm Yaira from Tamale and a student of Nurse and Midwives Training College. I'm business-minded, but I lack the capital, and I'm thinking if I venture into the business, it will drive me away from studies. My question is, how do I manipulate it?
So which one do we? Okay, let me try and combine
Let's
all
just say
of
the
them.
last one. The last one.
How to combine the two?
Yes, right.
I believe that Mamiesi, what's her name?
The last question is
the
Yaira
last,
from Tamale.
Yaira, I believe you can do both, but you need to manage your time wisely. In the course of my university days, I had to trade, I had to do business. I wasn't lucky like most of you who had parents to pay your school fees. So I had to, from secondary school, I had to trade. And I'm not talking about petty trading, I'm talking about traveling, I'm talking about, I sold everything sellable under this earth to be able to educate myself and educate my siblings. So, but I made sure I was in class every day. I made sure I was always sitting in front. I made sure my time was used judiciously. In fact, last week, one of my bosses was teasing me that the way you are, I'm sure you didn't know a lot of entertainment centers in the university, and that was the truth. I didn't have time. So you can share your time wisely, both in school and in your business. I believe it can be done because I did it. Yes. Right,
I'm afraid we've got to wrap up the program. Oh, there's a final question. Okay, let me take this final question from you.
Thank you very much. My name is Avoka Ayebila, a student of Ashesi University, computer engineering. There's this, let me say, digital currency that is emerging. What is your thought on it? And what will you advise Ghana on? Will you say Ghana should legalize digital currency or not? And what do you think it will be to the banking sector?
Digital banking, digital currency is still a new phenomenon to the banking world. I have read a lot about it. It's obviously a threat to the banks, okay? Because what it tries to do is to set up another system through which money can move or through which money can be exchanged without the current system that you know. It's a parallel system to the banking world. Having said that, I am also aware people have ventured into it in countries like Nigeria, and they've bent their fingers. There's a popular one that everybody is talking about. I think it's early time yet. Let's give ourselves some time. I think that I'm sure by now Bank of Ghana is looking at it because other central banks have come out. But one thing I can assure you is that if it comes to, after the research, a lot of research are going on, I believe that banks will catch up with it. If it is true and it's a system that is worth its salt, we will definitely find a way of building our system to meet it. But for now, I will encourage you to stay away from it because there are so many of them.
Right. Do I need to tell you to clap your hands or to show her some love? All right, so it's been an exciting program. I'm sure most of you have got questions you want to ask. Don't worry. After the official wrap-up, you can still ask questions with, she's got questions to answer, so don't worry at all. Then UBA has also got some souvenirs to give you for agreeing to come on the show tonight. Madam, I want to say a big thank you to you for agreeing to be with us on this program, the second female to be with us on the program. Please show us some more love. Show us some more love. All right, also for those of you who join us at your homes, from the comfort of your homes, with all your messages. Unfortunately, I was unable to read all the messages on Facebook and all of that. Thank you so much for your time. Well, that's all for the program, Time with the Captains here on TV3. My name is Parkus Yasari. Thanks to all the technical guys. Hopefully, same time next month, we'll bring you another edition of Time with the Captains. Till then, enjoy the rest of the night.